Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and today is part 2 of the special 3-part series, Manifesting Money. So if you've not listened to part 1, you can listen out of order, so I'm okay with that. But part 1 is the episode right before this, and I've broken each of these 3 episodes into the 3 main pillars of manifestation. So part 1 is thoughts, part 2 is words, which is today, and then part 3 is actions, which is in the next episode. So this is designed to where when you need a bump, when you need to get back on track, when you feel like you've been in scarcity and fear and you're spun out in worry around money, uncertainty, all those things, you can come back to this Manifesting Money series, which I put in brackets in the title to make it easier to find, but it's episodes 397, 398, and 399, all leading up to our 400th episode here at ProjectME. I can't even believe this. 400 episodes. And to celebrate with all of you, the 400th episode, that episode is going to be live on Instagram on April 6th, which is a Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I've never done anything like this before. So you are going to be able to see exactly what an episode looks like behind the scenes, but live on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. So you're going to want to make sure you put that in your phone right now. April 6th, live on IG, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we will be covering something I've also never done, the podcast playbook, everything you need to know to launch your podcast from scratch. So it will be me, plus I'm bringing on Andrea Ashley, who she started her podcast from scratch, but completely bootstrapping it. And it's wildly taken off in just a year. So I want you to be able to see 2 different ways to start and grow your podcast, and from 2 different approaches, and both are equally successful. And this way you can get an idea of what feels best for you and what works best for you in your life right now. And you'll be able to ask us questions live, all the fun things. So put that in your phone right now. So part 2 of the Manifesting Money series, how to use words to get in and stay in the Super Abundance Zone without lying to yourself. Because this whole notion of saying, I have millions flowing to me right now. If your ego doesn't believe that, your higher self doesn't believe it, you're not fully bought into it, it's not going to work and it's a waste of time. That's why in the Abundance Affirmation card deck that I created for you guys, those are all of my affirmations that I've used for many, many years to create everything that I have today. And every single one of them, there's no way your ego, even on its worst day, wouldn't believe or couldn't argue with. And if you don't have that deck, I have the link in the show notes in there as well. So the digital deck's only $9.99. That would be a great thing to use along with this Manifesting Money series. I need a sip of coffee. I don't even know why my allergies are terrible. I don't know who else's allergies. Like, I'm sure you can hear me sniffling. I probably sound sick and I've done all the things. Usually after I'm going to go to a yoga class in a few minutes here. And after that, exercise opens up my sinuses. But I mean, nothing else seems to. I took a Dayquil. I use that mask, that warm mask you can microwave and put it on my face. I don't know. Who are my other allergy sufferers out there? Not fun, right? But I'm here because we show up regardless. This word makes me lose my mind. It is the ultimate abundance blocker. And it's incredible how these 3 little letters can change the trajectory. Wow, that was hard for me to say this morning. Of your entire life. Really. It sounds dramatic, but it's true. The word is try. Ooh, even me saying it out loud, I'm like, ugh. I hate that word. I hate hearing that word. If I think it or it comes out of my mouth, which is definitely rare because of what I'll be teaching you today. Wow, I do a quick reframe of that. It wakes me up. You know how we all have those words? Some of you hate the word like moist. I know that's a common word. Panties is another word. I don't really like that word either. There's some other words. What are some other words? You got to DM me and let me know. What's a word that you don't like? I had a friend when I was in the corporate world, and she really hated the word banana. It really bothered her deeply. It's so much so that she wouldn't eat bananas. Isn't it interesting? Anyway, guaranteed you have heard your partner say it, your kids, employees, family members, and yet part of you is still operating parts of your life under the I'll try method. So when my longtime private spiritual mentor, Tony, gave me the task to put a check mark on a Post-it every time I thought or said try for 2 weeks, I was like, well, I don't like it when people say it to me, and I notice it, so I probably don't say it that much. Well, isn't that fun? Which is why, of course, he gave me the exercise. So I found that worn sticky note inside one of my favorite abundance books last week. I was like, oh, interesting. It took me a moment to realize what it was, and I'm like, oh, isn't that fun, divine timing? And this is after I already knew I was doing the series for you guys. So I was like, okay, I'm very clearly meant to share this with you. And a little reflection for myself, a little mirror reflection for myself that maybe there's an area in my life that I'm working the try method and I needed to be humbled and woken up. And this episode is going to humble and wake you up because you need it. And it's out of love. And it's time. Guess how many check marks were on there, folks? 127 check marks where I thought or said try in a 2-week period. Holy crap. And this is someone who I was already cognizant of that word being annoying. And the reason is when I first got hired in the pharmaceutical world after interviewing at 50 different companies, no joke. But at the end of the day, the right company, the best company, the most high integrity, in my opinion, pharmaceutical company of the big ones that exist to this day, Merck Pharmaceuticals. They put patients over profits. That's literally their mission, and it's legit. But I don't want to get into a pharma banter with anyone, so don't try me. Don't try me. I haven't had enough coffee. And one of the beautiful things of working for them is all their people, they invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in not just training you, but deep personal development work, sales training, interpersonal skills, even manners. I mean, they even made you, they even put you in organizational classes to organize. I'd even take a safe driver's thing in my white, sexy Ford Taurus with a gray plush interior. Thank you, company car. That thing was like a giant boat, but it was free, so mama liked it. Ooh. Chubbs was like, where's this Ford Taurus, mom? Until I spilled copious amounts of Starbucks in there that I would be delivering to my clients every morning. like a glorified, highly paid assistant. And then the milk set in to the plush interior. And then when it got warm out, despite all of my efforts of having it cleaned, it would smell like sour milk in that Ford Taurus. So bottom line, it was sexy times. So even though I said try this 127 times, my point in telling you about Merck is that I did semi-private sessions with Tony Robbins in my 20s. And I said try when he was, doing an exercise with me. Yeah, I don't recommend saying the word try to Tony Robbins in real life. He broke my ass down hard and I needed it. So this was already cemented in my mind by his enormous, this guy's head, when you're in front of him, like I know you guys maybe have seen him like on TV or in photos or maybe at an event. When you are really in front of him, this guy's head is the size of like 6 people's heads. It's crazy. So I was already very well aware of the word and I still said it that many times. So my point is, guaranteed, you're saying it more, without a doubt. When you ask your husband if he would please fix the dripping faucet this weekend and his reply is, sure, honey, I'll try. Would you feel at ease and confident that this is going to get done? When you tell your kid they must clean their room before they can go out with friends and the reply is, sure, Mom, I'll try. Would you not lose your damn mind? Well, you're doing the same thing with your own dreams. When you make a commitment to yourself on December 31st to go all in on growing your dream business this year, taking your business to the next level, and stop putting it off and stop playing small and all the intentions that we set at that time. But then all of a sudden it's the end of January and you're still trying. Then February comes. I'm trying, but nothing's working. And then in March, you're barely trying at this point because you've gotten so overwhelmed and feeling so stuck and not sure what to do. And you've been using posting and hoping as a strategy and trying all these things to see what sticks, which is not a profitable business plan. And now you're really mad at yourself for it, which likely means you're just trying. Well, April 1st is here, folks. April 1st is here tomorrow. And maybe you're listening and it's April 1st today. It's April and you have a decision to make. We're now officially in Q2 of the year. Are you willing to commit to stop trying and start doing? Now, it's understandable if you aren't completely sure of what the difference is, because I wasn't sure either. Like I understood intellectually, but I wasn't sure what that looked like, because at that time when Tony Robbins called me out, I genuinely believed I was trying. No, I'm trying everything. I'm really trying. I'm putting in so much effort. I really am doing all the things. I'm really trying here, Tony. I'm really trying here. And so I needed someone to help me understand. So I've broken it down and hopefully this connects. Trying is letting yourself have an option to not do, achieve, or complete the thing. Doing is setting yourself up to make sure you follow through and it gets completed, right? Whether that is hiring a business coach, having an accountability partner, setting boundaries in your life, structuring your day, showing up regardless, as an example. Trying is saying to yourself, to your inner circle and the universe, that your dream isn't all that important to you. And therefore your actions will energetically match the words you continue to speak. Doing is based in action and energy. It's a clear and strong vibe. This is when everyone around you, including yourself, knows that you're going for it. And this is happening. It's not this might happen, this could happen. No, this is happening. She's going to make it happen. He's going to make sure it happens. And guess what? And so it will. When you follow the I'm trying method, the universe doesn't take you seriously, as you aren't determined to make this manifestation into a reality. It just won't. You hold the power to change this today. Notice even what happens in your body when you go from this like toe dip and try to the all-in energy of it's happening and I'll do my best to make sure of it. Right? There's a lot of different versions of I'll try that you say to yourself, like, I'm doing my best. I'm trying everything and nothing's working. I'll do it when I feel I'll do it when ... That's another version of I'll try it. I'll do it when now you're basically trying to set a deal with the universe that I'll only do it and I'll only show up when I feel like it, when I'm motivated, when I'm aligned, when I have energy, when my brain is working, when my kids are, out of school. No, it just doesn't work like that. You're not making you're not making yourself an energetic match for the very things you want. You're basically saying, hey, I want you to make my dreams and my manifestations into a reality, but I'm going to toe dip, okay? I'm going to toe dip over here. I'm going to show up when I feel like it. I'm only going to show up when the stars are aligned, when Mercury's not in retrograde, when I've slept well, when I feel like it, when my children aren't annoying me, when I don't feel so fat, when I feel more confident, okay? So make sure you give me everything I want. And then I'll just do this part. Your side of the street sucks. Your side of the street sucks. And the universe is like, okay, honey, you keep going that way. And you see how that's going to work for you. Which business owner would you bet on? Which business owner would you invest in? Which business owner would you refer people to? The trier or the doer? I know you know the answer. You already have that answer. Which person, which version of you do you want your kids and your friends and family to see, to emulate, to learn by example? The trier or the doer? You get mad when your kids say, I'll try, when your husband says, I'll try, when your wife says, I'll try, when employees say, I'll try, when family and friends say, I'll try. Well, my guess is if you've experienced it a lot where people give a lot of talk, but not a lot of action, you have a lot of that going on in your life, I want you to take a look and see where you're also doing that. I'm not excusing their behavior, but it's an opportunity for you to look at that. Yeah, I know. You're like, oh, dang, honey. This is why your words, whether they are spoken or thought, this really can either attract and help support what you want to bring into your life and make it happen much easier, much faster on levels beyond your wildest imagination, or you're making it a million times harder on yourself and you have it set up so it won't happen. And then you're wondering why nothing's happening and why it happens for other people, because you're trying. Trying's not hot. Hashtag trying's not hot. It's not hot. It's not sexy. I wanna, is it hitch my wagon or hook my wagon? I love when I like mess up these common, bizarre American phrases. And then I get all my internationals are like, what the hell is that? But then I love it when you guys share with me. I just had someone share from Turkey, and she was sharing with me some of the expressions. And I was like, oh my God, those are so weird. Because she's like, some of these are like centuries old. They make no sense. Like hitch my wagon. I think it's hitch my wagon. Like who would I hitch my wagon to? Well, first of all, I'm the one driving the vehicle that you're wanting to hitch to. That's A. But I want to hitch my wagon to someone who is in the doer energy. And I'm not saying you're going to be in this vibrant, positive, motivated, only speaking and thinking positive words to yourself every day. That's called toxic positivity, and it's bullshit. You don't need to do that. That's not possible. As I said in part 1, the stat is it's either 80 or 85% of the thoughts we think are default negative. So it is not realistic for you to have to always be positive vibes, positive thoughts. That's crap. In fact, that's gross, and that doesn't work. But I would love for you to do that exercise of try. Maybe some of you probably don't recommend you putting this exercise on anyone in your life until you've done it yourself. It's like you start like taking out a Post-it note and putting a check every time your husband says it. That's some shit I would do. And then I'd like stick the note to like the steering wheel of the car and be like, the fucking faucet still isn't fixed. No, you know what I do? I hire someone to fix it. Because if you're not going to fix it at a certain point and it's annoying me, I'll hire someone to fix it. Thank you. Don't get me on a tangent about this stuff. I hate it. There's nothing that's going to piss me off more than someone's words and actions not matching. But I have to check myself. Where in my life, sometimes don't my words and actions match? And they're not always going to match. We have to leave room for our humanness, right? So there's other words you're saying. I'm just use try as an example. But there's other words you're saying of maybe you're saying nothing is working. Nothing is working. God, I'm doing everything. Nothing is working. Well, that is not a good repetitive phrase to say, because guess what's going to happen? Nothing is working. They're such low vibrational words. What ends up, how this works is, you say a low vibrational phrase, right? Like nothing is working, and you say it over and you think it over and over and over again, right? What ends up happening is your behaviors and your energy match it. So it's such a defeating phrase, right? It's okay that you say it, but if you don't catch yourself and you just keep saying it, it's so low. Then you're like, oh, why should I post anything? Nothing's working. Why should I even do this? I'll do it tomorrow. If it's like something about weight loss, right? And you're like trying to get in shape. It's like, God, I've been, nothing's working and I'm still at the same weight. And, I'll just eat the fries. So your actions end up aligning consciously and subconsciously with that vibration. And then what ends up happening is those low vibration actions equal low vibrations, crap results, which then is a self-fulfilling prophecy to the nothing is working. So then you cement in the belief, like, Tiffany, no, really, nothing is working. I mean, when you guys apply, which by the way, the applications are about to close for my 2-month private business coaching program. I have 2 levels. One is for entrepreneurs that are just starting, where you're making $0 up to $8,000 a month consistently. And then established entrepreneurs where you're making $8,000 to $10,000 a month consistently and beyond, and you want to scale to high 6 figures and 7. It's the same application, but I put you guys in 2 different buckets because they're 2 different strategies at different points. So they might already be closed by the time you hear this. You'll know when you click on the application, but it's in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. You can swipe up and it's in the show notes as well. This would be an example of you really being an action of doing, not trying. Because if you keep trying and saying nothing is working, yet you're not continually seeking help and guidance and advice and information, and you keep doing the same thing and you keep trying to stuff a square peg into a round hole, you've lost your mind. You're insane. Or if you're playing cheap, that's another version, right? If you're saying stuff to yourself like, Oh, well, Tiffany's probably expensive. She's the best in her field. And, I've not made any money. So maybe I'll wait till I'm making money and then hire her. Or she's going to think I'm an idiot. I need to be more experienced to probably hire her. And I don't really want to, go into debt over this. And wow. Well, those are interesting words and phrases for you to unpack. I've said those things too. What you're really saying is, I don't believe in myself that this is going to work. I don't believe that I'm going to make sure, and I'm determined to do everything possible to set myself up to make certain that this absolutely works. Now those are more words in the trying energy. You're putting more of a deal in the universe. I want these amazing results, universe, but I'm not willing to be uncomfortable and invest in a business. Do we know any successful restaurant chain or any successful company on the planet where that happens? They have to invest hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that they don't have. So now you're trying to put more deals in the universe, contingencies, right? I want the all-in results, universe, but I'm only willing to toe dip. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to continue to make you more and more uncomfortable and keep giving you toe dipping results until you hopefully get to a point where you're so sick of yourself and you're so frustrated that you're willing to rip off the Band-Aid and do the damn thing. And that's usually after you say something like, screw it, fuck it, I'm doing it, I'm terrified, it's happening. Those are the people that I always say, that's where I need you to be to work with me, is you need to be at that fuck it point where you're like, I've tried so much on my own, I've bought this, I've paid for this, nothing is working, I know I'm missing something, I've been playing cheap, I know I want this to work, this dream has clearly not left me, I've been after this for several years, I've been at the same financial point for X many years, and I want this to stop and I'm done and I'm over it and I'm terrified, but I'm also ready. That's when I can take you to the promised land. And that's when the universe will co-conspire with that energy and help you get there faster than you could ever imagine, because you're not only speaking in doer words and thinking doer words, but you're acting on behalf of those words. So you're either acting out your trying type energy words or you're acting out your doer words. But there's a reason I have this order for this 3-part series of thoughts, words, and actions. Because you have to have the thoughts first and the words second, because they go together to generate the actions. One works off the other. If you've not downloaded my free Abundance Walk guided meditation series, that would also be something great to use along with this. I'm a big believer, and you don't have to sit still and meditate or lay on a yoga mat. I'm a believer of moving your body while getting guided meditation, guided abundance, energy and beliefs and teachings, because we're moving the cells and the blood and the energy around in our body while we're doing it. And I really believe you guys retain so much more and can embody this energy so much more deeply in movement. Plus, I know most of you aren't going to sit still for that long. I know I won't. I mean, if I'm in a yoga class, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and meditate. It sounds nice, but that's just not my jam. Do me a huge favor. If you've been loving the show for a long time, or you just have loved this episode and you just found me, what keeps the show growing and allows us to continue to spend money creating the show, because it costs money to put out this level of content for you guys, we need 5-star written Apple podcast reviews. You can also write reviews on Spotify if that's your preferred listening platform. On Apple or Spotify, you can simply Google it and ask, how can I leave a written podcast review on Apple or on Spotify? And the quick directions will come up. It's super easy. You can do it right from your phone, whether you have an Apple or an Android. It does not matter. And if you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. But you can also put your name and your Instagram handle in the review so I can share it in social media and let you know I've read it and how appreciative I am of you showing your genuine gratitude for the abundance that you receive in your ears from me twice a week. I really want to reach our next level of reviews by our 400th episode. It would mean the world to me. It takes you 60 seconds. I think you can handle this. I think you can do this for me, okay? Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.